If you've ever second-guessed the people who run your country, just remember, we have potentially elected officials tweeting things like K-pop is propaganda because BTS stands for big-time socialists, while confusing 3 separate countries in one tweet, and I don't know what Tim Talk is, but apparently Robbie does, so can somebody call Robbie? I do think the coolest part is that now we're being described as K-pop operatives. Although there were some high-profile missions that were just too impossible for us K-pop agents, like Operation Figure Out What the Elevator is Going On with Jungyeon and Jimin, or Operation Black Card, aka Who Paid for Lunch, Irene or Jennie. Do you guys remember early last year when BLACKPINK were in LA for Stephen Colbert, and Red Velvet were in LA to kick off their tour at the same time, and a fellow K-pop agent happened to be in the same restaurant that Jennie and Irene met up at? Well, even though we saw Jennie pull out her black card while fighting over the check, we never really found out who paid for lunch. I haven't slept since. But now, the information has been declassified by Double Agent Double Oyeri, who is able to interrogate the answer out of Irene. Jennie paid.
그래서 결국 그날 결제는 사진까지 저거 나도 처음 봤어. 제니가 냈어요.
By the way, we have K-pop double agents everywhere, not just Katie Kim. For example, Minhyuk. Is he in Monster X, GOT7, or both? I don't know.
몬스타엑스! 안녕하세요, 몬스타엑스입니다. 자, 둘, 셋, 카메라를 가세요. 안녕하세요, 가세입니다.
Anyway, now that this mystery is solved, I'm gonna sleep like a baby tonight, probably like the fan who was lucky enough to be in the same restaurant as these 2 goddesses, as well as the fan who randomly saw Hanbin, or BI, who noticed that she was going to get wet from the rain and gave her his umbrella, running off covering himself with his hands. Apparently, he told her not to cry, which I would have responded, I'm not crying, it's the rain hitting my face. Ironically, we got this heartwarming rain story with BI, and then it poured down with crazy iKON related news. Earlier this week, it was reported that around 3:40 a.m., a van skidded in the rain and slammed into a retaining wall on the freeway. It was then said that iKON members Jinhwan and Junhui were in the backseat of that car. The 2 of them and the driver were all 3 treated at a nearby hospital for, thank goodness, just minor injuries. Police then revealed that they believed the driver had been drinking that night, but while this news was being reported, it seemed like YG Entertainment was staying silent on the matter. Not sure if they were waiting for the investigation to be completed or what, but because there was very little information, fans were asking YG to at least confirm that the condition of the members were okay. 30 hours later, YG did come out and confirm it was those 2 who were in the vehicle. They received emergency treatment and were now resting in the dorms. They also said they felt heavy responsibility regarding the accident, even though they have strict internal regulations on driving under the influence. So it sounds like the driver was a manager or some kind of employee at YG Entertainment. It was probably their job to go pick up the 2 members, and then this happened because the blood test revealed results that could take this person's license away completely. All these guys got very lucky, and again, thank goodness it was only minor injuries. However, the report says that depending on the investigation, there's a possibility that the 2 iKON members could be charged, depending on whether or not they knew what condition he was in. While it took YG over a day to address iKON's accident, it took KQ Entertainment less than a day to address the sensitive situation regarding ATEEZ. So ATEEZ are coming back this month and have began releasing teasers for their album Zero Fever Part 1. Well, in one of the photos, Hongjoong is seen with cornrows, which sparked criticism for cultural appropriation. And it seems they didn't take this matter lightly because KQ Entertainment quickly released a statement saying first, his hair was styled in consideration of the concept and song without any other purpose. They had no intentions of commercializing or depreciating other cultures at all. They said from now on, they will do their homework and guarantee that he will not have this hairstyle during promotions or any broadcast, but to please understand that they cannot edit the already completed albums, photos, or music videos. Now this seemed very odd and disappointed a lot of fans because that's exactly what SM had to do a couple of months ago. It's what AB6IX's company had to do when their leader had to step down. Fans pointed out that they were able to do it in no time at all, so it makes it look like the company is not willing to spend the time or money to correct the situation. Look, I know this particular subject is easily dismissed sometimes, sometimes, but I feel like you have to know the potential harm it can cause to other people's cultures as well. Look at how the 17 situation has now put an older song under the microscope to see how wrong it really is. On an episode of their show Going 17, Wonwoo started singing some lines from a song called Curry. And if you're wondering why this was such a big deal, it's because this song was created using stereotypes, and some offensive stereotypes about Indian culture. It even throws Hindi words in there just because they rhyme, and the music video for it is probably even worse. This song came out almost a decade ago, so imagine Wonwoo would have been 14, 15 years old, and if he didn't have any other experience with Indian culture aside from this song, you can see how something like this creates a false picture of someone else's culture that has so much more to offer. I love that Korean carrots were being supportive of Indian carrots. That's why fans are saying, hey, we just gotta let him know why the song was wrong, which I'm sure he knows by now and had no intention of offending anybody. Also, let's ask PLEDIS to please remove that clip from causing any more damage, and make sure this song doesn't continue to perpetuate this image. But it's really odd because PLEDIS still hasn't said anything yet, and therefore I'm sure they're not wanting Wonwoo to come out with his own statement for it yet either. Even the original creators of the song came out saying, look, we didn't know the facts, we were misinformed, and we were wrong and take responsibility for that. They also say that they hope their ignorance doesn't cause harm to younger artists who are loved all around the world. Fans are demanding PLEDIS to release a statement and at least remove the clip, because they've done that way quicker for things that were less significant. That their silence is causing more harm to their own artists, especially because yesterday was his birthday, and apparently his birthday V-Live wasn't the most comfortable celebration it could have been. You know what though? If contacting PLEDIS doesn't help, I say fans start reaching out to Big Hit. As we've discussed many times, they are PLEDIS's biggest shareholders and would not want their investment to be ruined by something that could simply be addressed and taken out. Especially when 17 is doing so well this year, selling record-breaking numbers, I think Big Hit could influence their decision to stay silent. We talked about how Big Hit is probably the reason 17 did not promote on Music Core, presumably because of their feud and Big Hit not trusting Music Core, which by the way is the show that Seulgi sported some really cool red pants on this week. We're seeing more evidence of that feud now with GFRIEND. Source Music is actually under Big Hit, which means GFRIEND is definitely banned or protected from Music Core, depending on which side you want to look at, even if the show wants them to come on. You know, the show that Seulgi wore red pants on this week. It's an interesting speculated feud that we don't know much about, except for it probably started with BTS not showing up to their music festival last year due to scheduling conflicts. Again, nothing is confirmed about this beef between Big Hit and the show that Seulgi wore red pants on this week. I really wanted to dive into a theory for GFRIEND's Apple Music video, especially because they made such a transformation all around for this comeback. If you read all their interviews, which I may or may not have, they state that was the purpose and meaning behind this album. But then Sehun and Chanyeol released some really interesting music videos, and then A-Pink's EUNJI came out with her solo, and then HWASA came out with another music video. By the way, listen to HWASA's new song and then Day6's J's Pac-Man back to back for a religious experience. I guarantee it. Anyway, then Alexa came out with an awesome song called Villain, and then 1THE9 made their comeback, which is probably their last comeback as a group. SF9, 2, Dreamcatcher, I don't know which one to do a theory on. I'm not crying, it's the rain hitting my face.